Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're all doing good. Hope you're doing fine. It's Friday again. Sunday, Monday, what? It is Friday, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Guys, before I start, you know the drill. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video, put your notifications on, all that sweet stuff. We're here to enjoy the Friday, guys. Now, let's get straight into the news surrounding Manchester United. Manchester United are set to sell up to 4 players to fund the move for Carlos Baleba. Now, it was rumored yesterday that Carlos Baleba wanted to leave Brighton, and a January move could be a possibility. Although Man United may agree a deal for the summer. To do this deal, Man United are looking to offload around 4 players, guys. 4 players out the door to fund one in regards to Carlos Baleba. Now, Manchester United have prepared for alternatives to Carlos Baleba, of course. Looking at, obviously, Neves, Ruben Neves has been talked about. Conor Gallagher has been spoken about in regards to a stopgap before we can get Carlos Baleba in the summer rather than getting him in January. So what Man United will do, if they can get Carlos Baleba in January, fantastic. If they don't, they're looking to bring in either a Ruben Neves or a Conor Gallagher in January just as a kind of stopgap. But Manchester United are looking to offload up to 4 players to fund the deal. And also, guys, Manchester United are looking to bring in a further enforcer, not just Carlos Baleba. They're also looking to bring in a few more players as well, a couple more players. So let's get into it, guys. Now, look, I spoke about it many weeks ago about Man United wanting to sign 2 midfielders. I still believe this is the case. Man United are looking to fix that midfield. They're going to lose maybe Ugarte, Casemiro, Mainu even, if you're thinking about it. There's 3 players right there just straight off the cuff. So Man United need to replace these players. One of the players that is an alternative, of course, is Adam Wharton. Now, we spoke a lot of times about Adam Wharton coming in January, but Adam Wharton has a gentleman's agreement. According to Ben Jacobs, Adam Wharton has a gentleman's agreement to stay with Crystal Palace until the summer. So that deal will not be done in January, guys. That is literally impossible to be done in January. Carlos Baleba is a possibility, but it does depend on outgoings. Man United need to remove up to 4 players to fund the deal for Carlos Baleba. Who are those 4 players? And would it be wise to sign Carlos Baleba in January by getting rid of 4 players? Because obviously we need a bigger squad. And if we reduce our squad even more, it's going to be a little bit risky, isn't it, at the end of the day? But this story about Carlos Baleba, and Carlos Baleba does have other suitors. There are other clubs involved. Liverpool is involved. I heard that PSG is involved also. There's a number of suitors for Carlos Baleba. So what Manchester United have to do, they have to act swiftly and quickly in regards to acquiring this player, the very talented Carlos Baleba. Now, the price tag 150 million is ridiculous. And I say it is. I think Man United should walk away from 150 million, although that could be quite exaggerated from the media. If Carlos Baleba does not play well for the remainder of the season, there's no way that any team out there is going to be paying the money that Brighton are asking for. And that is basically pricing Carlos Baleba out of a deal coming to Manchester United or other suitors. But Manchester United do have backup plans, contingency plans. I've spoken already about Lucien Agume, about Lamine Camara. Of course, guys, there's quite a few players out there that Man United are looking at. And obviously, Man United are bringing through some young players as well. Obviously, Costco as well, who's coming in as well for Colombia. And Man United are planning for the future. But what I would say is that Manchester United basically want Baleba, and this is the guy they want. I don't know. If Man United managed to sell up to 4 players to fund the Baleba deal, is that worth it? Would you say it's worth it? It depends, obviously, which are the 4 players that are going to lead the football club. It depends, doesn't it? Which 4 players are we talking about here? What 4 players are we on about? It does depend, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, we can't just remove players for the sake of signing 1 player at the end of the day. Now, top of the out list, it could be players like Xerxes. Even though we don't agree, I disagree with it, of course. Ugarte, Casemiro, Mainu is another one. Luke Shaw, Mason Mount. These players, Maguire, these players are up there in regards to the shortlist to be removed or sold from the football club or end of contract, so to speak. So there is quite a bit more rebuilding to do at this football club, you know. And once these players leave, we have to replace them with players. As I said, Man United do have a conveyor belt of players that we're after. Not just one player, not just Baleba. Baleba's top of the list, Wharton second, and we go on and go so forth. But Man United have a number of options. One of those options is a player that we've been speaking about. I mean, for a lot of the summer, it was Semenyo of Bournemouth. Now, Semenyo is an attacking player. Ruben Amorim is a huge admirer of Semenyo. Man United didn't do the deal for Semenyo. They ended up getting Bremo and getting Cunha. Now, if the worst happens for some people and Bruno Fernandes leaves the football club, Man United could quite possibly do a deal for a player like Semenyo. Do we need a player like Semenyo? Well, links are circulating that Man United are very interested in him. He could play as a right wing back kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think Man United need to look more in that midfield, and I don't want Man United wasting time on a player like Semenyo, because obviously we got Bremo and Cunha and Ahmad and players like that. Although he is a very, very good player, and I think he would fit very nicely into Ruben Amorim's team. United are also looking at defenders. Man United's defence is a little bit short at the moment, given that Evans and Lindelof left the football club in the summer. Man United are still looking at players. However, what I would say is that Man United need to be very careful on what players they get, because I'm looking at the likes of Aiden Heaven, De Ligt, Yoro, Mazraoui, and I think our defence is relatively calm. I think our defence is relatively good. I don't think Man United need to purchase a defender, so to speak, you know. Signing a player like Jared Branthwaite, of course, we heard a lot about Jared Branthwaite a year ago when Manchester United were priced out of a move for Jared Branthwaite, 65 million, wasn't it, that Everton were asking for. I would not go after this player, plainly because of that, plainly because of the price tag. And also, I don't want to stifle the development of the likes of Lenny Yoro and Aiden Heaven, Kolungi, Fredrickson, and we got quite a few players in there. And I just don't think that Man United's defence right now is the problem. I don't. I think that more the midfield, more the wing backs is the problem. It's news circulated over the last couple of days that Ruben Amorim wants a wing back, but Ineos have told Ruben Amorim that he has to wait. Basically, he has to wait. It's not a priority. Now, look, we should have done this deal in the summer. I was speaking about all summer about the right wing back position, the left back position, the midfield position, all positions on the pitch. And we were very concerned about the right back position, right wing back position in particular. And I was banging on about Vanderson. It's a very huge part of Ruben Amorim's team. It's a huge part of the way he plays. And I think that Man United do need a right wing back. Absolutely, we need a right wing back. It's imperative Man United get a right wing back because we don't have one. And when you're looking at Diego Dallo and you're looking at Ahmad and you're looking at, Mazraoui, who's not a right wing back, in my opinion, it's pretty clear that Man United are very weak in that position. It's quite clear. Man United need a specialist right wing back. And Ruben Amorim isn't crying out for it. He's asked for it. But Ineos feel that, you know what, we don't really need to buy one right now. We're good. And I think that's very risky. I think it's very risky. I feel like Ruben Amorim they fixed the attack. That's great. But in regards to the rest of the team, they haven't really fixed it, have they? And people expecting Ruben Amorim to produce miracles, of course. Let me say hello to everyone. I hope you're doing well. Welcome everyone to the stream. I hope you're blessed. Good to see you. Good morning, Garrett. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you, of course. My prediction for the game tomorrow is 3-1. I will take that, mate, all day long. Absolutely. Big up, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Is there any truth about Lemon starting the game now? Look. There was a little bit of news circulating from an aggregator in regards to Senny Lemon starting the game. Look, it was a joke from an aggregator who posts things about basically fake news and tags the journalists in it. Senny Lemens, I doubt very highly that he will play against Brentford tomorrow. I doubt it. I know he should play. I know that Senny Lemens should play. It's a given that he should start. I doubt that he's going to play tomorrow. I think it will be Binder. My theory is this, and I think other people have the same theory, is that Ruben Amorim is going to wait until Binder makes a mistake, until he chucks Lamens into the team, which I think is risky, and I don't think that should be the case. You should either believe in a goalkeeper or not believe in a goalkeeper. And that's all about assertiveness, isn't it? That's all about being, confident in your team selection and confident in being, in taking a risk. Because football is about taking risk at the end of the day. You can't just be living on your, what you feel safe with. As I said, greatness wasn't built on comfort zones, and you have to change it sometimes. And bringing Senny Lamens in would be fantastic. I think Brentford would be a difficult game for him to come in as a first game. But then again, you look at all the Premier League games and you think about every Premier League game is kind of difficult, to be honest with you. We can put them in against Sunderland, and Sunderland are a difficult team, as we've seen this season. They're not done too badly this season in regards to the way they're playing. Drew against Aston Villa with 10 men. Ephraim, Sal, I hope we continue the momentum and beat Brentford. I hope so, my friend. Very, very important. Guys, I want to end the narrative about, Ruben Amorim hasn't won 2 in a row. That's the narrative I want to end. I know they want to continue with this narrative. The media want to continue the narrative. I want to end this. He hasn't even won 2 in a row. Watch when they do. They're going to move the goalpost and say, well, he hasn't won 3 in a row. That's what they're going to do next, isn't it? Ephraim, Sal, do you think there will be big signings this January? I don't think there. I mean, if I was a betting man, I don't think there will be any big signings in January. I think the only thing that Man United can do possibly is agree a deal in principle for Carlos Baleba, which will be activated in the summer. It isn't impossible for Man United to sign Baleba in the summer, but Man United do have to offload a couple of players because we're still working on this year's fiscal year, which can affect FFP and PSR. If a deal was going to be done, in my opinion, it will be a player like Ruben Neves or Conor Gallagher on loan, or maybe a short-term deal, a stopgap deal, something like that. It'll probably be. I don't think that Man United will be going out there spending 100 million in January. I just don't think we'll do that. We've never done that, so I don't think we'll do that. Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you. Morning, Benny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, Arasta. See, I look younger. That's a good thing at the end of the day. I look younger. Thank you so much, Arasta. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Sal, the problem, Galenios ownership because of their debt will neglect position. It is a huge red flag. And we know, isn't it? This is why we were talking about Man United needed a full sale. Man United needed Glazers in. I must have said that 1,000 times, And this is precisely why, because Ineos are happy to neglect a position that is an extremely important position in the pitch just because they want to save the pennies and they don't want to spend any money. And that's basically what it is, isn't it? They don't want to spend any money. And it's going to leave Ruben Amorim weak. And Ruben Amorim has to work with what he's got. And we know we have not got a decent right side of our pitch. It's very, very weak, in my opinion. If we had players who can play in those specialist positions, then I think we'll be doing a lot better. And I look at Man United right now, and I don't see Man United as far away. I don't see Man United as, oh my goodness me, we're so far behind, it's unbelievable. When you look at the fixtures and you think about the likes of Arsenal, which we should have drawn at least, look at Fulham, we should have scored a penalty, should have won the game. When you look at these 2 games as well, Man United, have won 2 out of 5, right? They won 2 out of 5, they drawn 1 and lost to Man City and Arsenal, right? All right, Man City game was poor, and I haven't forgotten that Man City game, but the Arsenal game we should have got something out from. And you're looking at things and you're thinking anyone can lose to the likes of Man City and Arsenal at any given day. So I'm looking at things and I'm thinking, like, you know what? It isn't as bad as people think. It's not as doom and gloom as people think. And this is what I'm saying. People want to think that Man United is so far away when Man United are not far away. This is why Ruben Amorim needs the players that he needs for the system that he needs. Because if he does have those players, I guarantee you a lot of these results will turn from draws or losses to wins. Sal, protest is silent. No protest going on at the moment. Look, the protests are weak. I respect everyone who does the protests. I respect everyone who's up for the protests. But you know what? The main guy of the protest goes on silly channels, silly YouTube channels who are not even Man United fans. At the end of the day, and that's the problem with the protesters, and stuff like that. They don't even know what a real Man United fan is, and they go on their channel, I just feel like these they're not strong enough, they're not intimidating enough, and they're easily swayed by the Glazers and Ineos. And the Glazers and Ineos say, you're not protesting today. Okay, sir, we're not protesting today. And that's basically what happened with the Baleba, when we were linked with Baleba and we were about to play a game. And then obviously the protest was cancelled because they manipulated the fan base, Big up Chadosi, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up D, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Neves will be a good player for United, and Sal, he will be a good player for United as a stopgap. I prefer Ruben Neves to Conor Gallagher. Absolutely, I do. I think he's a much better player. Still a Portuguese international, of course. Still a very good player. I prefer Ruben Neves to Conor Gallagher, definitely. Betty, Brentford will pepper Bayende with those long throws tomorrow. 2-0 win tomorrow. I think Man United will win. I did say 4-1 to Man United yesterday in the match preview. I do think Man United will win the game. I looked at the game between Arsenal and Man City last week, and Arsenal were throwing those balls in, those corners in, right on the dead ball line, right on the goal line. And every single time you saw Donnarumma punch the ball out. Now, look, I believe Senne Lammens is that guy, and I think Senne Lammens should play because I know, and I know, Benny, that Brentford are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to rip that ball in the box on goal line, and Bayindir is going to struggle, isn't he? At the end of the day, and that's what I would say. I think that we need to start playing Senne Lammens and start, thinking about the future a little bit rather than being cautious and being very, I wouldn't say scared. It's just like, very practical in regards to the way you pick your team. I wouldn't be surprised if Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, Bruno in midfield play tomorrow and Sesko is dropped. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And we all know that will be a safe lineup. That will be a lineup that is cowardice, Arrestasy, I like the Man United training videos nowadays are better than those gym videos. Big up, Arrestasy. Sal, why Ruben scared to start in the young players if they are good enough? I think he has to be brave with his decisions. He does. And I'm not saying that he needs to go out there and play 8 youngsters because that's not what we're saying. What he needs to do, he needs to look at certain positions in the pitch and look at where we're weak. Mantato should be on the bench, for example, and Mantato should be slowly drifted into the team. He does need to take a few risks. Every great manager takes risks. At the moment, it looks like he's playing things safe. He's playing things like how many appearances have they had for Man United? How many appearances have they had? And he picks the team based on experience rather than based on talent, so to speak, Luke Shaw shouldn't be playing. Aiden Heaven should be playing. We all know that Aiden Heaven is a generational player. He should be playing. Sesko needs to start up top because if you keep removing Sesko from the starting lineup and bringing him in and taking him out and bringing him in, that it's going to ruin the player's confidence. And it's very hard to regain that confidence as a striker because the striker feeds off goals, doesn't he? Garrett, if we are flying start again, we will win that game. I really hope that Man United do win the game, Garrett. I hope Man United do well tomorrow. I hope we smash it. Very important that we do. If we don't win the game, I've said it a few times now, that nothing has changed for me. I look at the Chelsea game and I think about how they were down to 10 men. I know we started the game quickly and I know we started fast, but we do that with every game these days. We start quickly and we sort of fade away into games. So I'm very skeptical. I'm very cautious in regards to my optimism. I want to see what Man United turn up because at the end of the day, I'm looking at that team and I'm seeing 9 of those players played in the Europa League final. Europa League final was a serious game, right? And they did not turn up. So I don't trust these players. The only saving grace for me is when I think about Mbeumo, when I think about Cunha, I think about Sesko. I think about these players, right? And I think about, they can make a difference. However, I look at the rest of the team and I'm looking at that, you know what? We still got that player. We still got that player. He's still playing. And I get a little bit nervous about the game. I do believe the first goal is very important. I think if Man United score the first goal, we can go on and we can pick them off and we can win the game. But it's very important that Man United score the first goal. And if Man United do score the first goal, Man United need to go out there and score the second and third. That's what Man United need to do because it's something that we haven't done in many, many years, of course, these days. Aristasi, I think his philosophy is to ripe fruits don't taste good. That's why he doesn't start young players. Well, when you look at the team right now, there's a lot of bad apples in there. So there you go. We need to go for Brentford's jugular, so no mercy attack. Absolutely. Marky Mark, good morning. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I'm very well, my friend. Good to see you. We should start Senny. Baptism of fire is what we need. Keep your great work, my friend. Big up, Marky Mark, you absolute legend. Thank you so much for joining this morning. I hope you're having a lovely Friday, of course. Big up yourself. I agree. I think Man United should play Senne Lammens. I think there's a few things that Man United need to do. It's insanity keep doing the same thing over and over again. Update on Malacia. Malacia, isn't he going to Elche? Did he go to Elche in the end? I'm not too sure. But Malacia is one of those missing persons acts again, isn't he? He's another one of the cultural problems at Man United, the players that are injured all the time or just simply not good enough. And he's simply not good enough. Obviously, Ruben Amorim doesn't rate him. He's not good enough for them. And there we go. We have to find a way to get rid of him. Garrett, exactly, Sal. We need to beat the teams around us on the log. Yeah, look. I said it many, many times. Man United's biggest problem is not the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool. The biggest problem Man United have is the likes of Everton, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Tottenham, Brentford. Those are the teams that I worry about as just as much, if not more, than the big teams, because those are the teams that we've been dropping points against. West Ham, teams like that. Tottenham beat us 4 times last season. I mean, that is unheard of, that Tottenham Hotspur would beat Man United 4 times in one season. That's crazy when you think about it. So I'm worried about those. I'm not worried about the top 4, so to speak. I don't class Tottenham as a top 4 team, even though they did get there last season. No, but they didn't, did they? They won the Europa League. But if they did get in the Champions League, but I don't class Tottenham as a top 4 team. We lost to Tottenham 4 times last season. I mean, that's embarrassing in itself. We lose to West Ham regularly now, especially when we go to the London Stadium, we lose to West Ham. These are the games that Man United need to pick up points. 3 points is 3 points at the end of the day. Whether you get 3 points against Man City, whether you get 3 points against Arsenal, it doesn't matter, because the 3 points against West Ham or the 3 points against Bournemouth is just the same thing. You know what I mean? You don't get 10 points for winning against Arsenal, Man City, Big up, Garrett, absolutely. Big up, Ephraim. Sal, is Mazraoui injured? Mazraoui missed training. I'm not too sure. We're going to find out the update of him hopefully today. Missing training is a big red flag. When the player misses training, it doesn't look good, bruv. Luckily enough, we got Lenny Euro, who plays in that position. So we're quite stacked in that position. So we should be all right, even if Mazraoui doesn't play. Mazraoui is an important player for us, but I also think Lenny Euro is good enough to fit in that position if Mazraoui doesn't play. Mark, Brentford have been piss poor this season, so we'll follow with 1 win. We need to have no fear of that. We need to go out there with no fear, absolutely. Brentford are not rubbish. They did draw against Chelsea, of course, 2-2. But what I would say is that Man United should believe in themselves. We should go out there and believe that we can win the game. Brentford is not the easiest game in the world, even though they haven't got Thomas Frank and they're not as good as they were in previous season. It's not the easiest game in the world, but these are the games, guys. These are the games that against Brentford, the likes of Brentford, the likes of West Ham, the likes of Bournemouth, that if Man United are seriously progressing, are the teams that we need to win, the games that we need to win. Now, I was speaking yesterday on another stream about Newcastle and Arsenal, and they were saying, Arsenal have a bad record against Newcastle. Newcastle are one of those teams we struggle against. It's the bogey team and stuff. But I was talking about, if you want to be the best, right, you have to beat teams like Newcastle. These difficult games at St. James's Park, these are the games you have to beat. I take it back to all the way when Newcastle were actually world-class, when they had Les Ferdinand, David Ginola, Alan, these kind of players, and Asprilla and players like that. And Man United were way behind in the league, behind Newcastle. And Man United went to St. James's Park and won 1-0 with Eric Cantona burying one in the corner. These games are notoriously difficult games. Newcastle's a notoriously difficult game. St. James's Park is a notoriously difficult stadium to go to. And this is what I'm talking about the Premier League. You want to be the best, you have to beat these kind of teams. And there's no excuses for not beating these kind of teams, at the end of the day. And in Man United's case, the likes of Bournemouth, the likes of West Ham, the likes of Tottenham, the likes of Everton, these are the teams Man United need to be looking to beat, guys. And I expect nothing more than 3 points tomorrow and 3 points against Sunderland. And we go into that international break buoyed, and we go into that international break confident. That's what we need to do. It's a bit of a shame if we do win 2 games in a row that the international break is coming again, because obviously after the international break, we got Liverpool. And that's going to be a difficult game, of course, and that can go either way. Very difficult game against Liverpool. I'm confident. I will always be confident against Liverpool. I would never throw in the towel against Liverpool. And I don't think any Man United fan should. I look at the game against Liverpool last season. I hate to drift off a little bit, but Man United should have won 3-2. You remember when we drew 2-2 last season at Anfield and Harry Maguire missed an open goal right at the death. You remember that? Should have won that game. Would have been a historical win. Darren, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. All these Prem teams can't be underestimated. We got to start the game strong, and let's face it, Amram believes in behind it. I think Amram believes in behind it. I don't think many of us believe in his corner taking in his corners. It's pretty obvious. We do what we do. We go by what we see with our own eyes. I don't think behind is a bad keeper. I think Sene Lemens is better. I do think looking at Ruben Amram's system, it's not about believing. It's not about him believing in a certain player more. He's a bit nervous to play new players, and that's what it is. And as we know, by playing Luke Shaw, we all know Luke Shaw is not great. He's a little bit cowardice sometimes. And I think that he needs to be a little bit more bold in regards to his team selections. Because you know what? Greatness wasn't built on comfort zones. As I've always said, guys, and even Alex Ferguson used to make the odd decision that you think, wow, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Mark, Brentford form is so far has been poor. They have one win under their belt. We should show no fear of them. We shouldn't have any fear of them. We shouldn't have any fear of them. We should respect them because they did draw against Chelsea, at their ground. So they're no mugs, right? And what we need to understand, Mark, is that these teams, it's not about the Bournemouths. It's like us, right? Brentford play against Man United. They raised their game against Man United. Brentford and Man United. For Brentford, it's like an FA Cup final for Brentford. That is how Brentford attack the game. That's what they do. This has been going on for many, many years, of course, with other teams as well. But Brentford would treat this game like a final. They don't care about the Burnleys and things like that. They're not bothered about those teams. They're caring about Man United. They're ready for Man United. But you're absolutely right. Man United should not fear Brentford. Man United should be better than Brentford. Man United have had a week to prepare for this game against Brentford. There's been a week to prepare for this game against Brentford. Man United should win against Brentford. And not only win against Brentford, Man United should beat Brentford comfortably, in my humblest opinion. Dallo in, I hope not, is crap. Youth, courage and success. Absolutely, Mark. Amram needs to show courage and use the youth. We can. Guys, if Alex Ferguson had the same mentality as Ruben Amram, we wouldn't have had the class of 92. We wouldn't have the treble. And this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have to be bold. You have to be brave. You have to do what's good for the future. Now, we're looking at Aiden Heaven, for example. Aiden Heaven is not just broke through into the squad. Aiden Heaven was one of our better performers last season, almost broke into the England squad. That's how good he was, So I'm looking at that. You're looking at Aiden Heaven. I'm looking at Mantato. I'm looking at players like that who can play in that right wing with it. And I'm not saying start these players. I'm saying, you know what? Have them on the bench and slowly nurture them into the team. So eventually, when they're called upon, they are ready. And that's what you should do. Play in the same team. Look, you look at Bruno, Casemiro, Bruno tomorrow. Let's say, for example, tomorrow, right? Ugarte, Bruno, Shaw, Mount. You're also looking at, what's the other guy? Dallo. There's 5 players right there who flattered to deceive under Ruben Amram alone, but for many years, so whilst we still got those 5 players in the team, whilst those 5 players are still playing for the football team, we're still liable to do stupid things. We're still liable to lose games, because we got those players who are, I would say, serial losers, in the team. 15 likes, 70 or 15 likes, guys. 50 likes minimum, guys. Let's get to 50 likes. I've got 95 in the house, guys. Let's get to 50 likes, guys. Come on. Sal, we have to go for them and score the first goal. I agree. I think we'll be all right. I think we'll win. Maybe the extra pressure brings the best out of Bayern there. I don't know. All I know is that he's made a couple of mistakes this season so far. So the pressure obviously doesn't get the best out of him, does it? It didn't get the best out of him against Arsenal when he was pressured in the goal. Darren? I don't know what you're on about, Darren, but he does fold under pressure. He folded with Arsenal, with flapping the ball into the back of the net. I mean, that's pressure, right? Lamens needs to play, mate. Garrett, the coach is waiting for Bayern to make a mistake, I think. Yeah, Garrett, I think I said it this earlier on in the show, that that is what he's waiting for him to do. And we all know that he's going to make a mistake, and it might come tomorrow. I hope not, touch wood. I hope he doesn't make a mistake. But this is exactly what he's trying to do. He's gonna wait to Bayern makes a mistake, and when he's made a mistake, he's gonna bring in Lemens. Just bring in a new goalkeeper, for crying out loud. Do you know what I mean? Bayern's not a great goalkeeper. He's an average goalkeeper at best, and he has good aspects. He has bad aspects, and that is everything you expect from a goalkeeper. For me, he's a championship goalkeeper, a League One goalkeeper of that ilk. Ephraim. Sal, what is the point of bringing a goalkeeper? Do not start him, then do not have to wait for mistakes to change the goalkeeper. I know. What I'm thinking is that he's being extra cautious before he starts him in games. And I think he will start him in the games, but he's being extra cautious and he's biding his time. He's waiting. He's watching him in training. And you know what? I've heard great things about Senny Lamens in training. Obviously, Harry Maguire spoke about Senny Lamens, talking about how good he is. Look, it is up to Ruben Amram at the end of the day. It's up to Ruben Amram whether he plays him or not. But what can we do? Dan, bro, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Morning, Sal. View on Brentford game is that they have sold their manager and sold their best players. We should make an example of them with a comfortable victory with Bremo scoring. They did spend a lot of money in the summer, Dan, bro, as well. They bought Ouattara in from Bournemouth, 45 million. They've got a decent team. We have to show respect, but we have to be confident in our own ability, Dunbar, absolutely. And we have to go out there and say, we're Man United and we need to go and win that game and press the game to them, put the game to them and give them questions to answer. Do you know what I mean? That's what we need to do. I don't want us to go out there and be shivering and fold like we have done at Brentford last couple of years, you know? And not only fold, we've been slapped up there. You know, so hopefully the thing with Thomas Frank and everything like that, you know, is good because he doesn't manage them anymore. And we win the game. I am worried. As I told you guys, I'm worried because we've got Luke Shaw. I'm worried because we've got Bruno Fernandes and Ugarte and these players and, you know, and Dallo and players like that still in our team. And these players are liable to make a mistake at any given time. So obviously we have to look at that and we have to be cautiously optimistic because we got some good players, new players in the team, great, but we've also got some of the players that have serial lost over the years. As I said, my prediction yesterday is 4-1 to Man United. I think Man United will have a comfortable game. I hope we have a comfortable game, and I expect Man United to have a comfortable game. Big up, Dan, bro. So I think we have changed the leading that they are part of the fallen team. So I think we have to change the leading they are part of the fallen team. Sal, I mean the captain group. I do believe that because the captain group, what is their thing? Like, guys, I want to bring this into the show, right? What are you expecting from Bruno? What are you expecting from Maguire? What are you expecting from Luke Shaw? What are you expecting from Dallo? What are you expecting from these players? Are we expecting these players to all of a sudden, miraculously, in their late 20s, become good and 30s? Become good, all of a sudden, become title winners, become title challengers? Are we expecting those old dogs to become good all of a sudden, miraculously? It makes no sense, does it? It makes no sense, does it? At the end of the day, it doesn't make any sense because these players are not going to get any better than they were 5 years ago. You know, so it is insanity, you know? Marky Mark, Sal, Sal, who is your starting lineup for the match? I gave it yesterday, Marky Mark. I would play my starting lineup or Ruben Amorim's starting lineup. My starting lineup is Lamens. I would have Aiden Heaven at the centre back alongside De Ligt and Euro in the defence, and I will have that right wing back position is such a problem. You know, guys, and I'm going to be surprised a few people here. I'll play Bremo on the right. I'll play Mainu and Ugarte in the midfield. I'll play Fernandes and Cunha as the number 10s, and I'll play Sesko up front. That's what I would do, guys. Shocker, right? I would play Bremo on the right. I think Bremo's fantastic on the right. He's played on the right many times, and I think he'll be more of a threat. And I put Ahmad on the bench. And if things go going well, I'll take Ahmad off the bench, and I'll bring Ahmad on as a substitute, you know? Gary, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Can't sleep. We'll be up at 4 a.m. for the watch along, but I've got a good feeling that Lemens will play. I don't know. I would love that, Gary. I would love Lemens to play. It would show to me that Ruben Amorim is showing a lot of cojones here. He's showing more guts than he usually shows. So I would really like that if he did play him. That'd be fantastic, of course. Garrett, Sal, don't worry about Brentford. We got him, Bremo. Come on, Garrett. We got this, brother. We got this game. Bav. We got it. We're going to win the game, mate. We're going to win the game. I did say 4-1, guys. I said 4-1. I said Man United are going to win 4-1. But, of course, I'm analysing the game. I'm analysing what the formation should be, the tactics should be, the players should be. And you know what? I'm quietly confident. But you know what? When you witness things, and it's not PTSD, but it's like when you witness things over the years, and you know, you don't dive in head first. You know, you don't walk into hell with a snowball, you know? There you go. Darren. I heard something that Lamens will only be ready by Christmas. I think it was Goldbridge source. What I mean is maybe Lamens and they're seeing Anana to go to Bayern feels is his last. The thing is, we've got a lot of tough games coming up, Darren, and Liverpool is coming up. Brighton away is coming up. West Ham is coming up. You know, obviously the Premier League's difficult, and I think that Bayern there will cost you points. And I think I don't want to go into Christmas way behind the European positions. The biggest strength in regards to Premier League teams is that they're very good at crossing the ball in regards to corners. And apart from us, they're very good at crossing the ball in corners. And this is what teams are going to do now. teams have seen Bayinder's weaknesses, and they're going to play on that. Watch Brentford tomorrow. Watch Brentford tomorrow. Watch what they're going to do tomorrow. They're going to bend that ball into that goal line of Bayinder. Bayinder, one of Lamen's biggest strengths is corners. I'm talking like this because I know he's good. I watched him for a year. Ruben Amorim's being scared, and he doesn't want to play him because he's scared. He's a young manager. I give him that. He's a young manager. I'm not going to criticize him too much, but he is scared. At the moment, I look at Man United, I think we have a weak goalkeeper between the sticks. Man United have a decent team, but we have a weak goalkeeper. We have a weak midfield. And that is a big part of the team. The two big positions in the team, the midfield and the goalkeeper. We're good in defense. And we have good attacking players. But in regards to the midfield and the goalkeeper, I think we're a little bit weak, mate. Look, I know that Bayinder will start tomorrow. I don't think Sal Warner will start tomorrow. I don't. I'd be very, very surprised if Sal Warner starts the game tomorrow. I'd be gasping. Not for air, but oh my goodness me. Lamens is starting, In reality, I would love Lamens to start. But also on the flip side, I feel like Brentford is a difficult game. Throw him in for his first game. But then again, who dares wins, as I said. And, sometimes if you want to learn to swim, you have to be thrown in the deep end, Garrett, Sal, big up, Darren. Sal, these players are playing one game a week. No excuses, my brother. Absolutely not. No excuses at all. However, Brentford have had a week as well. But what I would say is that there is no excuses for not winning the game tomorrow. The only excuse they have is if we go down to 10 men. God forbid. I touch wood. God forbid. If we go down to 10 men or something, that is the only excuse we have. I don't want Man United to even draw the game. Tomorrow, Man United need to win the game. Whatever the lineup, whatever we choose, Man United have got to win that game tomorrow. I don't care about anything else. Win the game. I don't care how good we play. I don't care if we are lucky. Just get the 3 points. That is what's the most important thing. It's not about playing tiki-taka football at the moment. It's about getting points on the board. And I firmly believe, due to other teams being poor, apart from Liverpool, Man United have a great opportunity to catch up on those top 4 positions, top 5 positions. We win against Brentford. We win against Sunderland. It's, we got a good chance of coming in that top 5, guys. The Liverpool game's a bonus. So we get a point from the Liverpool game or we win the Liverpool game. My goodness me, that would be amazing. Then you can look at things and say, we got 3 games to change the destiny of this season. 3 games. I'm talking about these 3 games right here, right? Brentford, Sunderland, Liverpool. These 3 games right here are the destiny for Man United. This is where we will get an idea. This will be the education of where Man United are going to be this season. How well we're going to do. Brentford number 1, Sunderland number 2, Liverpool number 3, right? How many points are you expecting out of those games? I would love us to get 7. I would be absolutely incredibly ecstatic if we got 9. But 7 would be great. 6 will be the bare minimum acceptable. The bare minimum acceptable. Because obviously Liverpool are Liverpool. Liverpool has spent nearly $1 billion. They're already the champions. So anything we get from Liverpool, would be a bonus, in my opinion. And I don't say that lightly because I don't like Liverpool, and I want Man United to beat Liverpool. Every time we go into Liverpool, there's always a part of me, no matter how bad we are, that we can beat Liverpool, even though they're better than us, at times. And we nearly beat them, last season, Ephraim, big up. Ephraim, smash the likes and like. Thank you so much, my friend. Big up, Eski. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. I think Sal Warner will start tomorrow. I don't think Bayinder in set pieces will face Brentford. The issue is waiting for Bayinder. Making a mistake might cost us the game. Absolutely, Emeski. And this is what I'm talking about. You cannot be thinking, I'm going to play him, but I know he's going to make a mistake. But I'm going to play him until he makes a mistake. That is the wrong mentality to have, right? That's not how you do it in the Premier League, Emeski. We need to build Lamen's confidence for the upcoming games. It'll be tough, absolutely, brother. Dan Bro, what is Man United fans starting 11 different from Amorim? Why ain't we on the same page? Because we all know. Because let me tell you something, Dan Bro. Man United fans know more. I'm not saying that we're better managers, but Man United fans know more about the team, know more about players. We watch more Man United over the last, years and years and years, than Ruben Amorim. We know the underlying problems at Man United. We study Man United. We watch Man United. We understand our history and heritage, right? But the thing is, we as fans, we don't have the pressure that Ruben Amorim has. We don't sit on that bench. We're not scrutinized, right? We don't pick a lineup and we get abused in the media. This is the difference, isn't it? We're not getting 200 grand a week. You know, we haven't spent a load of money on a bunch of players. So that's why Ruben Amorim is very safe and careful and cautious. You know, it's a bit like this, right? If you know, right, that you walk, like, let me give you an example. If you know that, you know, it's a bit like Russian roulette, isn't it? If you got a gun with bullets, right, real bullets, and you're playing, you know, you're triggering it, and you're passing it around, right? You're passing it around. You know, it's much more of a hazardous thing to do than doing it with a water pistol, right? Isn't it? And this is the thing. We got the water pistol. He's got the real weapon, you know, and this is what we're talking about. And this is why it's bad for him. But on the flip side, you think about great managers of the past. I mean, I was raised on Alex Ferguson, as we know. Great managers make bold decisions. Great managers make risky decisions. Great managers do. We think about Arteta of Arsenal, and Arsenal fans are moaning about the midfield with Declan Rice, with obviously Zubimendi and Marino. They're moaning about that midfield. They think that midfield's too pragmatic, it's too defensive. And I agree with that. Because I know that if they play, all right, they said they played Man City, but this is probably one of the worst Man City teams in many, many years. Probably the worst team that Pep Guardiola has had in his career. You know, so I would say that Arsenal needed to just play Eze in that team, and probably Arsenal would have went on to win that game. You know, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, unfortunately, there's a thing that is an addiction in regards to managers. It's called self-perseverance. And they preserve rather than trying to win. You go out not trying to lose rather than trying to win. And this is exactly what the problem was with Gareth Southgate. When Gareth Southgate was managing England, this was his problem, that he would rather go out there looking not to lose rather than looking to win the game. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I say. Big up, Dan, bro. Great comment, my friend. Hope you're well. Ephraim, Sal, we have to be beautiful set pieces. They are good with that. They are good with that. They are, and we have to be wary of that, of course. And, you know, that is one thing you could put on the cellular men's argument. Of course, that cellular men's is better at that. However, so are we. We are good at crosses as well. And Bremo's fantastic at crosses. I want to see Sesko play. I want Bremo to get that ball into the box. And I want Sesko to get on the end of it. Because believe me, he's going to get on the end of a few of those crosses sooner or later, guys. Absolutely. Darren, do you think he's going to do the false nine drop by Mason Mount? Can I be honest with you, Darren? I don't agree with it. Yes. I think he's going to play Mason Mount, Cunha, and Bremo. And Brumuna, it's so predictable, Darren. He's going to play Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Lenny Oro, or De Ligt. He's going to play probably Dalot as a right back. He's going to play Dorgu as a left back. He's going to play Ugarte and Bruno in the midfield. He's going to play, as I said, he's going to play Bremo and Cunha and Mount. Now, look, you look at that and you think, yeah, that's fine. That's great. That's not too bad. But Mason Mount is a perseverance player. You know, he's there to control, you know, and keep the ball. He's not there to add goals to the team, you know. And more times than not, when Mason Mount plays, we don't score. We struggle. And look, I think he's going to play that. I do think he's going to play that. And I think it's bad on Sesko because Sesko needs confidence. Sesko needs confidence. You can't keep leaving your striker you spent 70 million on the bench and playing one game, doesn't score, I'm not going to play him again. You know, because then I look at things and I think it's very unfair when the likes of Bruno and that have bad games, but they continue to play. You know, no matter what. You got to give a striker enough time. If I was the Brentford team, the last thing I would be wanting to do is play against Benjamin Sesko with Bremo and Cunha there as well. You know? Big up, Darren. I just want to see our new front three go full night. I agree, Darren. I agree with you, man. Absolutely. Benny, I'll take 7 if I were to offer him to me now. Absolutely. Big up, Benny. Benny, In the 80s, when Liverpool were top dogs, we always gave them a proper game and had a great points return versus them. Not in the 80s, yeah, we stopped them winning the treble, didn't we, Benny? And Man United have always done well against Liverpool. And this, when it's derbies, when it's rivalry, that's an equalizer, isn't it? Already, that's an equalizer. That the rivalry separates the talent between the teams. Even when Manchester United were in their heyday under Alex Ferguson, we used to struggle sometimes against Liverpool. I remember a number of times we beaten Liverpool. We lost to Liverpool. Loads of times we lost to Liverpool under Alex Ferguson, the great Alex Ferguson sides. Hell, we almost lost in the 98-99 season to Liverpool. We were lucky to come back 2-1 in the FA Cup. And we think about Liverpool. Liverpool always give us a game. I remember us losing against poor Liverpool sides. I remember Danny Murphy scoring from free kicks and winning 1-0, I feel like when we go into these games, there's a different level of pressure. This is still the biggest game in England. No matter what people say, this is still the biggest game in England. Man United, Liverpool is still the biggest game in England. But what Man United need to do, they need to put that to the back cube at the moment. I need to think about winning against Brentford, winning against Sunderland, and then we think about Liverpool afterwards. Yes, I'm a little bit upset because we got the international break. And as we know, the last international break, we lost to Man City after international break. We don't really do well after international breaks. And this bloody international break, so they're a bit too many this year, isn't it? Absolutely. Darren, can't blame Amarim. The hand he has been dealt with suffered last season, so this is cautious. The hand he's been dealt in regards to Ineos, yes, this is the problem. But he needs, when he gets an opportunity, he needs to play different players. He needs to, because he didn't do it against Grimsby. And you can't be, at Man United, you can't be like, oh, you know what, feel sorry for yourself. You can't. You have to do what's best for the team. At the moment, what he's doing is not best for the team. Playing Bruno as a number 8. I went on a channel yesterday, and every single one of those fans from rival clubs, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Inter Milan, was saying, why does he play Bruno as a number 8? Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. It's not just about the cards he's dealt. He's got cards there to play. And that's the thing. He's got cards there to play. Kobe Mainu Ugarte, Bruno's number 10, playing Bremer on the right, play Cunha in attacking midfield. You can do that. It's quite easy. He who dares wins in life. He who dares wins. I don't make excuses for anyone at this football club. We're done with excuses. It's goddamn Brentford. Go out there and win the game tomorrow. We don't win the game tomorrow, then obviously there's problems. I don't care what team plays tomorrow. Let it be what it be. Well, it is what it is. As long as we win the game, I don't care. Just win the game. And that is what's the most important thing, I would say. Ellen, good morning. How you doing? How you doing? Well, good to see you. Darren Mount's good with passing through to Embremo. Passing through to Embremo. Embremo should be behind there. Embremo should be behind there. How many goals have we scored with Mason Mount playing? I don't believe that Mason Mount. Mason Mount is an overrated player. Shouldn't be playing for Man United. That's it. I know you haven't seen great players play for Man United. I have, over the 90s and stuff. But Mason Mount is not a Man United player for me. I hope he does well, though. Sesko, first goal tomorrow. If he plays, big up Mark, you might agree. Hope so. Sal, Mount starting as a false 9 is not going to work. He has to change it. False 9 don't work. I agree. It doesn't work. Playing a false 9 and expecting Embremo to be your striker, passing through to Embremo. What are we going with here? What are we going with here? They're not strikers, and they shouldn't be playing as strikers. Lawrence, big up Lawrence. How you doing, my friend? Morning, Sal. Ruben, just like his forward players to press, are like goals supposed to come magically from deep midfield or wing backs who can't cross. Are the goals supposed to come from magically from a deep midfield or wing backs who can't cross? Morning, Sal. Ruben, just like his forward players to press. He does, yeah. And I feel like we press better with Cunha and Embremo and Sesko up front. We play better. We're more dangerous. We score more goals, factually. I would say, what was the lineup against Chelsea? We started fantastically well against Chelsea, didn't we? And I feel like, he can't be cautious. That's it. Liverpool used to play as if winning United was like winning the league. Yeah, and that's how Man United, unfortunately, we need to do now. Mark Sesko, first goal. Sesko needs to play. Sesko, who created the red card for Chelsea at the weekend? Sesko. Sesko created the red card. You know? He flicked the ball onto Bremo and Bremo got fouled. It was a great win from Benjamin Sesko. Benjamin Sesko won the ball, you know? 25 likes, guys. Let's get to 50 likes. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? Come on, guys. Let's keep smashing the likes and stuff, guys. Thank you so much. Big up, Ellen. Sal, we need to Sesko to score to build his confidence. We do, and I think he's dangerous. I think he adds something to the team. I do. I think he's dangerous. He's a dangerous player. Look at Chelsea struggled against Sesko at the weekend. You know. Come on, Ellen. Let's do this. Hopefully, he does get his first goal. Hopefully, he does get his first goal. I hope he does. You know what I mean? I really do hope he gets his first goal. You know, he needs to play though, doesn't he, guys? Come on, guys. 26 likes and 96 in the house. What's going on, guys? Smash the likes, please, guys. Don't be a hater. You don't be a hater. Don't hate, appreciate. As they say, don't hate, appreciate, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who has smashed the like, by the way. Really appreciate Really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Sal, we need to Cunha and Bremo Sesko starting. That is a great front line. It's a dangerous front line. An absolute dangerous front line. And the reason it's a dangerous front line is because it's different. It's Cunha's different and Bremo's different. Sesko's different. They all add something different to the team, you know? Ellen, he is dominating in the air. Absolutely, Ellen. He is. And we need that. Simon, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're good. Sesko needs time to settle in, adjust to the Premier League and start last strike with Mateus Cunha and Brian and Burrow up front. He needs time, but he needs a goal. Every striker needs a goal, Simon. And if you keep taking him out the team, put him back in the team, take him out the team, it's going to ruin his confidence. And it will be, as a striker, I know it ruins their confidence. And, you know, I feel like we need to play him. He's dangerous. If it wasn't for Sesko at the weekend, Chelsea would not go down to 10 men. Scenario would be completely different, you know? I'm a big fan of Sesko to hit form. He's a really good player. He is. Guys, the only thing he hasn't done is scored a goal. The only thing, I think he's played very well. I think he's hold-up play. He's bringing people into the game. And I think he's been absolutely brilliant when it comes to that, you know? As I said, the assist for Bremo and the red card. Who wins that ball in the air? Mount? Come on. You know? And this is what we're talking about, you know? Saviour, good morning. How you doing? Sesko will score tomorrow. Have a good confidence in him. Big up, Saviour. Me too, mate. Hope you're well. Like stream, guys. Come on. We need to get to 50 likes. What's going on? Got 100 in the house, guys. 50 likes should be the bare minimum, guys. Come on. Do it. Do it. As was it Ben Stiller said on Starsky and Hutch. Yeah, guys, we need to get to 50 likes at least on Breaking Dawn. That is the protocol. And we move on from there. Guys, whatever the team, whatever the lineup, whatever we want, the most important thing is this. And you know it. I hate to be in the cliches. Man United need to win this game. It's as simple as that. You know? It's as simple as that. We haven't seen it yet. Darren, have you seen some of Sesko's goal in the Bundesliga? Crazy goals. Great goals. I want to see it. I want to see him shoot. I think one of the problems that our strikers have had over the last few years, in particular with Rasmus Højlund, is that we don't shoot enough. And I don't think the strikers do that. I think we're a little bit reluctant to shoot sometimes. And it's not just under Ruben Amorim, it was under Erik ten Hag as well, which is why we had minus goal difference and stuff like that. We do need to shoot. Benny, he has been good, Sesko. To see Sesko is brilliant. We need our wide players to give him service, of course, and play him in. Guys, I said it once, I'll say it again. If I was a Brentford defender, the last thing I would want to be doing is seeing Bremo crossing that ball on the right and Sesko challenging for the header. That's the last thing I want to do. And then you have to worry about Cunha, you know? And, you know, you got that. And it's much more of a worry, isn't it? Rather than thinking, oh, we got Mason Mount. He might pass a through ball through maybe, but we just defend it. He's not really hard or anything like that or quick. Ephraim, Sal, I think Ahmed needs to know how to cross the ball and strike. I think Ahmed needs to be dropped. Guys, I think I would play in Bremo on the right. I've been saying it for a long time now. I would play in Bremo on the right. I know some people might laugh at me for that, but I definitely would play in Bremo on the right. Mad goals, absolutely, Darren, mad goals. I would love him to play. But the most important thing, everyone, guys, we're all Man United fans. You know, we love Man United. And all we want is Man United to win. That's all we want. That's all we care about tomorrow. I don't care what lineup plays. I don't care. I don't care if Dalot, Shaw, Mount, they all play. As long as we win a game, I'll be celebrating no matter what. You know what I mean? And this game for me is like a turning point. a potential turning point for Man United, because obviously everyone was bringing in, we only beat Chelsea. Chelsea were down to 10 men for half the game and blah, blah, blah. This game is the one thing that's going to show me that we have turned a corner here. We've turned a corner, and you know what? We could quite possibly win 3 in a row, guys. And I guarantee you, all those media outlets who are going, he hasn't even won 2 in a row yet. All those media outlets won't be saying anything. And that's what we need to do. We need to shut everyone up, and we need to win football matches. Nice early game tomorrow makes a change. I think it will be open game, which will play into our strength. Hopefully, Dan. I agree. Nice early game for me. Obviously, I'm 3 hours ahead of UK. Been in the UAE for 3 years. Yeah, I never get used to it. And obviously, the UK go ahead. They go behind in October as well. So the games go 4 hours behind because the time doesn't stop. It doesn't change here. So it ends up being 4 hours. So when it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, it's midnight kickoff for me. And, it's difficult. It's great to have an early kickoff for a change. Absolutely. Absolutely. Garrett, Sal, imagine the next 3 games, 9 points. That would be great. That'd be great to going into the international break. And then obviously a lot of us will be thinking, damn, the international break has come too soon. And I'll forgive you for thinking like that, because we don't do well after the international break. And that's what's concerning me the most. Not only the fact that it's the international break, it's the fact that we play Liverpool at Anfield after the international break, Fergie 71, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. So I think we should look at the sign Vanderson from Monaco. He's a very good right wing back, in my opinion. Been speaking about him all summer. Welcome to Stretford Post, Fergie. Been speaking about him for almost a year. Those in the stream know. Those who know, been speaking about Vanderson. I was the first person to mention Vanderson out of all the content creators. Vanderson. And then lo and behold, he gets called up to the Monaco squad, Standing 6'5" is crazy defense. Yeah, you feel it. And especially when you've got Mbeumo whipping that ball in. Look, you know what? I don't want it to happen, but, look, if Man United are struggling against Brentford tomorrow, we got Mason Mount on the pitch, right? And we're struggling, for argument's sake. We can bring on Sesko anyway. We can bring him on, and we can change things up. My only concern is that, you know what? I don't want us to be losing a game. I want to have a comfortable game tomorrow. It's about time that Man United had a comfortable game, and Man United won a game comfortably, for crying out loud. The anxiety and stress is too much sometimes, supporting the Man United. Garrett, so what do you think of the false number 9? Don't agree with it. Don't agree. It works in some games. It only works in certain games. I'm talking about probably would have done probably like Liverpool away, but even Alex Man City away, Arsenal away, those type of games. But when you're playing games like Brentford, West Ham, Brighton, Bournemouth, you don't need to play a false number 9. You don't. I wouldn't do it anyway. I wouldn't even do it against the big teams, but that's me. Front 3, Cunha and Bremo, and Sesko, Cunha and Bremo, and in goal, Lamen to start tomorrow. Ahmed on the bench. We need a right wing back who can cross the ball into Sesko. I agree with you, mate. This is exactly why I play in Bremo as a right wing. Can get the ball in the box. He's always on the right anyway. You could play Bruno as a number 10. You could move Manu into midfield. You could play, much more balanced team. It's a no-brainer for me, but Ruben Amorim chooses. Also, Sesko scored against the big teams in the Bundesliga, goal against Bayern. Yeah, Sesko needs to play. He needs to get up to speed with the Premier League, and he needs to play. Wharton made the plays. Gyökeres played from the start and plays every game. He needs to play. We need to stop being cautious, and we need to stop being careful. However, I don't think he's going to do it. I just got this funny feeling he's going to play Mason Mount. He's going to play, Cunha and Mbeumo, false number 9 thing, And I just hope we win. I agree, Brian Mbeumo, Sal, put Mbeumo into the right side of the 3 and let him drop into midfield. We have caused chaos for Brentford, absolutely. What happens, Benny? Exactly what you said there. What happens when you play Bruno as a number 10? What happens? Bruno can drop into that midfield, making it a midfield 3. When we're getting overrun in midfield, Bruno can drop back into the midfield. Ahmad can't. Ahmad can't drop into that midfield. And that's what we're talking about. You got Mbeumo on the right, who can cross the ball into Sesko, can get that ball in. You got Bruno as a number 10, who can drop into that midfield position if it gets a little bit hard in the midfield. And you've also got Cunha up there. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? And it's such a... I don't know why he doesn't do it. I don't know why he doesn't do it. Because if you play Bruno in the midfield, Bruno goes forward. He leaves the other midfielder isolated. He leaves him on his own. exposed. I don't know. Ellen, absolutely indeed. I will have the watch along tomorrow, Ellen. Look forward to seeing you all there for the watch along, guys. Really appreciate everyone who's coming today, of course. I will be doing a watch along every Man United game. Dan, bro, Cunha and Sesko are both due goals. I see at least one of them celebrating, if not both. Come on, Dan. Come on, my friend. Benny, yes, watch along tomorrow, 12 p.m. Tomorrow, 12 p.m. Big up. Yes, thank you so much, Benny. Ruben will get himself fired if he thinks that's not my striker. I'll sub him on later. I hope Cunha scores or Mason finds an assist to Mbeumo. Ruben will find himself if he thinks that's not my striker. All I know is that if I'm playing against Mbeumo, Cunha, and Sesko, I'm more scared than Mason Mount. You just drop deep with Mason Mount. That's it. That's all you do. You just drop deep. However, with someone like Sesko, he's going to give you problems. He's going to move you all over the place. He's going to bring other players into play. He's going to chest that ball down. Play Sesko. Forget about the cowardice Mason Mount, because that's what it is. You know, and Bremer, I don't want to see Bremer up front. Bremer crossing the ball into the box is what we need to see. You know, big up Ephraim, my friend. Big up. Great Man United teams have always played strikers. Simple as that. I watch you on my TV channel. Big up, fan. Hope you're well. Smash the likes. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great day. Great Friday, of course, and enjoy it. We'll be back later on for Chatterboxer, of course. Don't forget to join me for that. Having the press conference reaction as well, guys, for you and stuff like that. Mount could be useful in the second half. It depends. It depends. If we're winning the game, maybe to self-persevere. But that's not how Man United play. That's not how Man United play. We need to go back to the Man United way, guys. That's what we need to go back to. Absolutely squashing these bloody teams. That's what we need to do. Not worry about, maybe we can bring them on and control it a little bit and preserve our 1-0 lead. You know, we really do need to start being brave. We really do need to start, because the fan base is going like that in expectations. You know? Let me tell you something about Mason Mount. Mason Mount, to end this off, Mason Mount was Gareth Southgate's love child, right? He loved Mason Mount. Even Gareth Southgate dropped Mason Mount. Something to know, guys. Absolutely. And he loves him. Guys, thank you so much. Great to have you on board. I really appreciate you. Don't forget, I'm back later on for Chatterbox. Great conversation. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. We bring it on, win for Man United. I did say 4-1. Maybe I'm being overly zealous. I still say 4-1. I'm not going to change it, guys. I'm definitely not going to change it. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you later on. Hopefully you can join me for that. Chatterbox matters as well, guys. Remember that. Take it easy. We need the channel to grow. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Peace.